Cuevas, and I am a College and Career Pathways Advisor assigned to Santa Fe from Tri-Cities ROP. So I'm happy to be here and helping you guys with your cover letter. So it shouldn't take very long. And again, if you have any questions after this, I will leave my info in the chat, and you're more than welcome to reach out to me with any questions that you might have after this in regards to cover letter, resume, anything college or career related. I'm happy to help. So let me go ahead and start to share my screen and get started. Okay, so today we're going to be focusing on the cover letter. And I hear all of you are working on a scholarship. And hopefully this will help you to get started, because I know it can be, there's a lot of samples out there on the internet. A lot of, like when I did my cover letter, when I wasn't going to college and starting to go to college, I know we didn't have a lot of like the layout that they do on Google. So that's what's nice. I have a lot of students who go strictly to, just Google, and they find a layout and a template that they like. And that's what's really, really helpful, that you could just go on it and it'll guide you to what you just have to go in and put the info that's going to relate to what you're writing. So let me get started. Let me share the slide here. And so what we're going to go through is what is a cover letter, the writing format, the letterhead, and then about researching a company. So this is more for applying for a job. And for you guys, more pertaining to Veronica, just a question I have for you. So they would just be more pertaining to school, or what is their focus going to be for the scholarship?
Yes, for most of them, it will be for the scholarship.
Okay, so they would highlight, what are they going to highlight on there? More about school?
Yes,
Or,
because some
okay,
of them don't have work
the work
experience.
experience? Okay,
Mhm.
sounds good. Okay, thank you so much. And then, so researching a company. So this is important when you're going to start applying for a job, how to address it, and then stating the purpose, the body, and then a strong finish, and then we'll be done. Because a cover letter is really quick. It's usually just about a page. It's just the layout and the content. The content that you're going to put in there is what's most important. So this is the dictionary.com explanation of what a cover letter is. It's explaining the contents of another document or parcel of goods. So this cover letter is going to be the gateway to your resume. So if all of you guys should already have a resume, but if you don't, a resume is pretty much telling your story about education, your education experience, and your work experience. So that's going to be your story that's going to keep growing for the rest of your life until you retire. So this is something that's going to be an ongoing document. Your cover letter is going to constantly change to pertaining to whatever you're going to be applying for, whether it's for school, for jobs. Your cover letter is always going to be changing in regards to whatever it is you're using it for, because you could use the same one, but you have to make sure you're tailoring it to the specific thing that you're applying, your job, I should say, or for school. So that's the most important, is you change it every time, because I don't think I ever turned in a cover letter that's the same, because you have to be putting an address, which you'll see soon. So you're going to be highlighting your main accomplishments, and also what you can do. So what are you going to bring to the table, and what different from your other colleagues or whoever who's applying for this scholarship, what stands out about you specifically? And then your past success and how it will play into your future success. And then also how to explain, it's going to explain your resume in a little bit more detail, because your resume is much different. It's going to be laid out in bullet points, and this, you could explain it in paragraphs. So again, what's unique about you and the specific position or company? And so this isn't an essay, it's just a brief business letter. So it's not something that's going to be a huge essay. Righty? And again, if you guys have questions, I'm sorry, I can't see in the chat, but if you have questions, please feel free to stop me. or write it in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything. If something sounds confusing, don't hesitate, okay? Excuse me. So the writing format. So the font is usually nothing crazy, no handwriting or anything like that. So it's basically very just simple. So Times New Roman, Arial, just something simple. And then you have to be consistent. So be consistent with the resume format as well. And then your name is the only thing that should be different on the page. Make sure that your name stands out. So your name should be the bigger font size. And again, it's one full page. Um, there should be some white space, not cluttered or cramped. And then the margins, 1 inch to 1.5 inch, and then appropriate spacing between lines. And I will show you a sample. And then make sure the letter flows. Oops, sorry. So here's a sample of what the letterhead looks like. So this should be the biggest thing on the page again, usually centered, aligned on the top. So as you can see here, this person, sorry, let me just move this over a little bit. Oh, sorry, my bad. Let me go back. So the name, as you can tell, it's bold and it has the address, your email. And if you don't have a LinkedIn already, I recommend you get one. Your LinkedIn is going to be like your social media for work, anything related to work, even for school, to show, your, like, again, your story of what you've done education wise and for job experience. So this person put their LinkedIn, but email, and also getting an appropriate email address. So not using your school email address, but maybe an email address that has your first, last name, and then maybe your favorite number. So just something very simple and professional. So getting a personal email is something I highly recommend that you use specifically for work and for school. So because once you graduate, you're not going to be able to have access to your email that you have now through school. So it's super important to start making sure you have that. And then also, if you don't have your own cell phone, I have had a few students who don't. So don't use your parents' number, because they're going to be calling that number. Hey, I'm looking for so and so. And the parent answers, and sometimes the parent doesn't even know what's going on. And so that's super important that you have your own number where they can contact you directly. Okay. And then, like I said, that professional email address, the LinkedIn, your personal website, anything that's going to be able to show your work and what you've accomplished. Okay. So it's only the city and state where you live. You don't have to put your full address. So this is something new that I'm just recently learning, actually all of us, that you really don't have to put your full address anymore. It's something that's really not necessary from what I heard. They will get all the information. This is when you apply specifically for a job, but for this purpose of writing the scholarship, I would write your full email. I mean, your full address, I'm sorry. So they have that information. But when you're applying for jobs now, I have heard that you don't need city or state. I mean, I'm sorry, your address, but it's only city or state. Righty? Okay, does anybody have any questions so far? I know it's a lot of information. Okay, we're good. So this is researching the company. So for all of you, this would be researching where you're applying for that scholarship. And the reason I say that is because you want to know what company is giving you this scholarship and know a little bit about them. So find out what their mission statement is, their projects that they do that interest you. This will also show that you know the company's values and want to help them maintain it. And then write down some key similarities of your past work and their current work. So this will help you write about why you want the job and why your past experience will help you through it. So also finding out who that hiring manager is important. So this is more for a company, but a company you're applying for. But if you have for this scholarship, if it's a company that you're applying for this scholarship through, definitely get to know a little bit about them. Okay. And then addressing your letter. So the date of the letter, This is important to write on there, that date. So whenever you're gonna finish this letter. So like this says October 30th, 2018. And then on the left side, so this goes on the left side, and I will show you what a full one looks like. And so this is the recipient of the letter, which is most likely the Human Resources Department. But for you guys, there should be an address where you can put that at the top for applying for a scholarship. So you're gonna want to know the name. So if not the name, just put the company's name, their street address, city, state, and then that zip code, and then the phone number. So addressing that letter. And then after you filled in the information of the letter, where it will be addressed to. So first you're going to do first address your letter, sorry. And then you're going to write dear, whatever you prefer. So on mine, I do to whom it may concern, because I just kind of leave that very simple. Unless you know exactly if they told you where you're going to be addressing the letter to, then you go ahead and put that. But if you don't know, you could either write dear so-and-so or to whom it may concern if you don't know. So like it says here, these are just examples. So dear Dr. Howard Stark, dear director, if you know their title, dear Mr. Steve Rogers. So if you're not too sure which pronouns to use, just use their full name by itself. Okay, so that's just starting it. Now setting your purpose. So this first paragraph is it's going to be just very direct to the point. You're just introducing yourself. So you're going to state your purpose for writing this letter, what position you're applying for. So in this case, for the scholarship, you wouldn't need this so much. It's more just introducing yourself. And then what you're interested about in the company. So this would be, why are you interested in applying for this scholarship and why you want to apply for it. And this is really important. Try to use a hook. So this is just like when you write a paper, an essay, you're just a hook to try to hook them in to want to, continue reading this letter. And then try using the mission statement of the company to show similarities. So this is if you can. Okay, so just like your company's mission statement, I too respect and value the people in the community and want to make the area safer for them. Excuse me. Okay, so this is just starting this letter, introducing yourself. Because this is something you don't do in a resume. Because in a resume, it's just going to go straight forward and go through your education. Veronica, do you know if they are having to submit a resume for this scholarship?
No, it doesn't.
No?
Yeah, it's just a cover letter.
Just a cover letter. Okay, got it. Thank you. Ma. Okay. So the body of the paragraph. So this is going to be the most important, okay? This is where you're going to want to, like I said, it's not very long, so you want to just stick to the points. This is where you explain your experience. So if you don't have any experience, what will benefit you for the job? Okay. So if you don't have any experience, this is where volunteer, anything that you can think of to put on this letter that's going to help you to be able to stand out, like I said. And again, I have students who they don't know what to write, and I help them to write it together. And after this, you can share with me on Google if you'd like, and I can help you to read it over. But you're aligning your skills, experience, and qualifications with job responsibilities. And then use language directly from the job posting. So if they gave you something to follow for the scholarship, definitely use that and go through and make sure you cover everything that they're asking for in this portion, okay? So talk about why you're a qualified candidate for the scholarship. What work experience have you had that fits? This is for a job requirements, and then why you want to work specifically for a company. So for a scholarship, you would put why you would want why you would, what makes you a candidate again for this scholarship, okay? And then what you can do to improve this workplace in this role. So these are just some examples that you could put in there. So it's basically only 3 paragraphs, and this is going to be a strong finish. So this is the last paragraph in between 2 or 4 sentences. Okay, it's going to be very simple. Sum up your letter and why you are perfect for the job, okay? And then you're going to repeat your email and phone number where they can contact you, if anything. And then you thank them for their time because they're taking the time to read your letter. Okay. So who has a drive to meet company goals effectively, we should speak. You may contact me at, and they put their number or email address. And then here's just, I succeed at working at independently as much as I enjoy mutual sharing members. Additionally, about analyzing market researchers, behavior as my previous. So for that, you really don't have to, for your scholarship letter, you really wouldn't have to put that in there. Okay. So to bring my effort, dedication, and knowledge to you. Sorry, I can't see because my read you a couple of these. I don't know how to move. Okay. But does anybody have any questions on these 3 pieces? And I can show you what a cover letter looks like in the whole. I don't think they have it in here. Let me see. And then when you sign off, so you're going to write an appropriate closing remark. So it's going to be sincerely regards, thank you. Leave spaces and write your name. So they put sincerely your name, sincerely Jane Doe, sincerely. And then a lot of people write a signature. And then this is if you're going to enclose a resume or if they're asking for any other documents, you're going to want to enclose that and make sure you write that on there. So, but if you can put your signature, that's always important. You sign it, and some people even write their name underneath printing. So regards, sincerely, thank you are good ways to sign off your letter. And here's an example when you're all done, what it should look like. So again, if you go on Google, like I said, I know that there's a lot of templates. It's just preference on what you want and what's gonna best fit your letter the way that you like it, okay? And so you could just pick what you would like for yourself. So somebody asked, what is an enclosure? Close a resume. So like I mentioned, I don't know if you guys know what a resume is, but a resume is something that's gonna pretty much sum this up for you. So like I said, it's gonna be your story about what your education experience and what your work experience are. So it's just going to be a 1 page with that on there. It's going to be listed with what you've done at each job. And then if you graduated from high school, that's going to be put on there once you graduate, ongoing document that's going to constantly be changing. Okay. So hopefully that answered your question. But this is what it's going to look like once you're all done. And yours is going to look different, and that's okay. For a scholarship, since it's, as long as you're hitting those points on yourself and letting them know why you're that unique candidate for this scholarship and why you want to be chosen. And again, it's not a lot of, not a big essay, so you want to get straight to the point. Okay. And then I always tell students to double check their grammar, but it's not by you, this is by somebody else. Have maybe even 2 or 3 people look at it. Have another set of eyes look at it besides.
Adele, we can't hear you.
Maybe you, your parents, a cousin, aunt, uncle, someone at school. Like I said, I can look at it and make sure it goes along. Can you hear me now?
Your connection, I think, is kind of breaking up. It's a little spotty.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me see.
There you go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah? Okay. Sounds good. Sorry about that. You finished writing, okay? Yeah? Okay. Sounds good. So does anybody have questions? Like I said, please send it to me if you have any questions. I will be more than happy to look at it for you. So after this, you're ready and you're set to create your resume and send it. Okay, so hopefully this helped and answered questions. I always have students even go, if you go online now, there's so many ways for you to get examples. And if you don't have a LinkedIn or a website, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't need that for this. Okay. So it's just something for you to start thinking about, to start building. Okay. So it's nothing that you need right now, but it's just something to start thinking about. Okay. So does anybody else have any questions? And please ask, because I know this is something that's important, and I want you guys to feel comfortable going back to write your letter and being able to, because this is something that's really important, and it's talking, and some students have the most trouble, believe it or not, talking about themselves. So I know this can be hard, but you guys got this, and this is going to be something that hopefully it's going to pay off, and you'll be able to get that scholarship after writing this letter. Thank you for writing information. Let me put my cell. This is my work cell as well. Oh, sorry, I sent it just to Veronica. So this is my work cell. I have a lot of students text me. You can call me on that number if you have any questions, and I will get back to you. So thank you, Liz, for putting that in the chat. I appreciate it. But does anybody else have any questions? And if you'd like, would you guys like for me to send you this